For several decades now, North Korea has remained the most closed monarchy in the world, possessing nuclear weapons and being under the brutal dictatorship of the Kims. To find out how the people live in this country and what laws are in place, you can refer to the information provided above. In this video, we will also discuss the father of the Kim dictators, Kim Il-sung. As a Kremlin puppet, he managed to establish a powerful dictatorship in North Korea, seize control of the entire country, intimidate the population with his cruel rules, and cripple the future of its economy. Despite having spent time in prison, serving as a partisan commander and working for the Kremlin, he acquired the status of dictator of the DPRK and ruled until the end of his life. Today, we will delve into all of this in this video. Welcome to the Hustler channel and enjoy your viewing. A little background. Since 1910, Korea had been a colony of Japan. Kim Il-sung began his career as a fighter for Korean independence. In 1932, he joined the ranks of Chinese partisans fighting against the Japanese. Within 2 years, he was appointed commander of the 6th Division. Kim Il-sung's name gained recognition after a successful raid on Pochonbo, where his division destroyed a gendarmerie post and some Japanese institutions. This led to the spread of rumors about the military leader Kim Il-sung, and the Japanese authorities offered a reward for any information about his whereabouts. By the late 1930s, he had become the commander of the 2nd Operational Zone, overseeing all partisan units in Jiaodong Province. However, during this time, the situation for the partisans worsened dramatically. They suffered heavy losses in battles with the Japanese, and among the senior leaders of the Second Army, only Kim Il-sung remained alive, being hunted by the Japanese with special fervor. In such circumstances, in December 1940, he and 13 fighters broke through to the north and crossed the Amur River on ice, finding themselves on Soviet territory. After passing the required screening, the 28-year-old partisan commander began to be prepared for a new mission. The Kremlin wanted to make him the ruler of Korea, believing that they would be able to control all of his actions and maintain overall control over Korea through him. However, all plans were foiled by the Americans. The United States also wanted full control over Korea and had no intention of handing it over to the Soviet Union. In 1950, after returning from Moscow, Kim Il-sung declared war on South Korea and became the chairman of the Democratic People's Republic of Korea, DPRK. He remained in power ever since. The cult of personality surrounding Kim Il-sung began with his brutal regime. The new leader set one main task for himself, which was to fully concentrate all power in his hands. First and foremost, he introduced several repressive laws that prohibited any dissent against the country's leader. He quickly eliminated his opponents. This raised some concerns in the Soviet Union, but no one took any serious action. Kim Il-sung understood that with such a high position and such a brutal regime, the risks of dying prematurely greatly increased. Therefore, he completely avoided traveling by car and plane. Instead, he chose a huge armored train with a railway escort, which he happily used to move between his various villas. He had more than 10 of them scattered across the country. After the armistice in the Korean War, many people hoped for the reunification of the two countries. However, clashes at the border between South and North Korea shattered the people's expectations. Furthermore, neither the North nor the South Korean rulers wanted to relinquish their power. In order to emphasize the independence of the DPRK and provide ideological justification for his personal rule, in 1955, Kim Il-sung proclaimed a new ideology called Juche. It was interpreted as a counterweight to imported Marxism and symbolized self-sufficiency and personal power. This ideology was a mixture of Korean mythology, Confucianism, and Marxism-Leninism. It argued that North Korea would survive, arm itself, and defend itself without assistance from abroad. As his rule progressed, Kim Il-sung distanced himself from Kremlin control and concentrated power in his own hands. Kim Il-sung had a strong affinity for fame, and to ensure that people would not forget him after his death, he ordered the construction of the largest monument in North Korea in his honor. He also enjoyed being revered and worshipped while he was alive. He organized grand parades in his honor, where he closely observed how people bowed and idolized him numerous times. The strong glorification of Kim Il-sung began after his 60th birthday in 1972. On this occasion, the highest state award, the Order of Kim Il-sung, was established. In the same year, Kim Il-sung adopted a new constitution, which began with the words, "The Korean Democratic People's Republic, founded on the Juche idea, is our socialist homeland, in which the ideas of the great leader Comrade Kim Il-sung have been embodied and implemented under his leadership. The great leader Comrade Kim Il-sung is the founder of the DPRK and the pioneer of socialist Korea." The Constitution also stated that Comrade Kim Il-sung was a genius of leadership in ideas, theory, and practice. He was an all-victorious steel commander, a great revolutionary, a political leader, and a man with a capital M. Kim Il-sung's biography became the main subject of study starting from kindergarten and continued through schools and universities. Koreans memorized his works by heart. At special gatherings, children in kindergartens would collectively express gratitude to their leader for their happy childhood. Every article, book, or lecture, whether in school or university, had to begin with a great quote from the country's leader, regardless of whether it conveyed any meaningful content or not. Even during his lifetime, Kim Il-sung awarded himself numerous titles, such as Great Leader, Son of the Nation, Iron-Willed Supreme Commander, Marshal of the Mighty Republic, Guarantor of the Liberation of Humanity, and so on. Additionally, it was mandated that his portrait be displayed in every home, office, factory, or metro station. This way, he conveyed to the people that he was watching over each resident of his empire through his icon. The propaganda was so strong that people genuinely believed in these tales. Some even feared to think anything negative about their leader, believing that he could read their thoughts. Wearing a small badge with Kim Il-sung's image was a mandatory requirement for all citizens. Furthermore, he began isolating the country completely from the outside world. He prohibited citizens from entering or leaving the country, and imports were banned. At that time, the country's economy relied solely on imports from the USSR, as the Soviet Union sold goods to North Korea at preferential prices or through barter. When relations between them deteriorated, the Soviet Union started selling goods at full cost, which was highly disadvantageous for North Korea. Consequently, the country faced a shortage of goods. After the collapse of the USSR, imports to North Korea ceased altogether. However, this did not have any impact on the Kim dictatorship. Sensing his own approaching death, Kim Il-sung began preparing his son, Kim Jong-il, for the transfer of power. In 1994, at the age of 82, Kim Il-sung passed away, leaving behind another dictator, his son Kim Jong-il. The newly appointed dictator declared a 3-year mourning period for all residents of the DPRK and then started imposing his own rules. I already have a video about him on my channel. I recommend watching it. That's all from me. If you found this video interesting, don't forget to subscribe to the channel, leave comments, and support the channel on Patreon or become a sponsor on YouTube. This was Hustler. Until we meet again.